Hi to the Bridport Girl Guides and to anyone else who might be watching these Indian-Australian fusion cooking lessons. Today we're coming to you after a week of no session because there was a global campfire, which I hope you checked out. So this week we're back with the cooking, and today we're going to make Pav Bhaji.
Pav Bhaji is a famous Indian street food, and street food just means that it's kind of the thing that you snack on while you're standing by the side of the road, but it's also the kind of thing that you cook when you're having a party, bunch of friends around, maybe for your birthday or something like that. But today, home alone, going to cook a little Pav Bhaji for myself. These are all the things that you need for your Pav Bhaji. Tomatoes, and these are just cherry tomatoes because that's what I have in my garden. We've got some tomato paste, got oil in our oil container. We've got some special Pav Bhaji masala, but and as you know from hanging out with me, masala means spice, but I'll talk a little bit more about that when we add it. Oh, that in there is some butter, some garlic and some onion, cauliflower, some frozen peas, potato, carrots, capsicum, but basically you can use any veggies that you have. You don't need to use these ones specifically. We've got some bread, and also I've just got this kind of bread because that's what was in my freezer, but you can have any bread you like. Traditionally, usually a little white bun, but whatever you like. And then we've got our masala dubba because we're going to use a bit of chili powder out of there today. And then over here on the stovetop, we've got a pot and a skillet today, or some kind of little fry pan. So they're the things we're going to use to make our Pav Bhaji. Woohoo! The first thing I'm going to do is take my oil dubba or my oil container and just put a little bit of oil in the pan, maybe about a tablespoon. And then I want my Pav Bhaji to be a little spicy. So I'm going to take from my masala dubba just a little bit of chili powder. Now this is not necessary if you don't want your Pav Bhaji to be spicy, but I'm going to wait for that oil to become a little warmer. Then I'm going to pop a little bit of chili powder in just to release the flavour. And then I'm going to put my garlic and onion. So that's the first little process, and let that sweat off a little bit. So this is what the onion and the garlic and a little bit of chili powder looks like, all sweated down in the pan. And now to this mixture, I'm going to add the potatoes and the carrots because they are the harder vegetables. So I'm going to add the harder vegetables first and allow them to take up the flavour of, little bit spillage, the flavour of the onion and the garlic and the chilli. And then after I've done that, I'm going to add the softer vegetables. So there's all the hard vegetables in there, and I'll just let them get coated up with this nice flavour, and then we'll share the next step. So now I'm going to add, they've been in there for about a minute now, maybe a minute and a half. So now I'm going to add the softer vegetables. So for me, that's the capsicum or red pepper, depending on which country you live in, the cauliflower, and the tomatoes. So as I said before, I've got cherry tomatoes right now, so I'm using those, but you can use any like regular tomato, no problem. And so I'm just going to let that stir only for a moment, not for very long at all, because I don't want anything to get burnt, like charred, right? So just moving that around.
And then I'm going to put water. So, oh, just remember I have peas, yeah? And I haven't added them, and I'm going to tell you why later. It's just a little thing I like to do. So now I'm going to add a bunch of water, and we're going to let those vegetables cook down. So we want them to be soft. So I'll be back when the vegetables are soft. While the vegetables are getting soft, it's been about 5 minutes since I was with you last, and I'm getting hungry, so I'm going to get into the next steps of the process. So we want to add some tomato paste, and for this amount of vegetables, this is just a dessert spoon, and I'm adding just 2 dessert spoons of the nice organic tomato paste, but you can use whatever tomato paste you have. And this is the Pav Bhaji masala. Now, I have purchased this Pav Bhaji masala at an Indian grocer in Launceston, and I'm lucky because I still have this much left. I haven't been to Launceston now for more than 5 weeks, so that's, for those of you who are watching this somewhere else, that's the big town like 1 hour's drive away from here, so the closest place to me to find an Indian grocer. For those of you who don't have access to an Indian grocer, especially if you're a Bridport girl guide living here, all you need to do is Google homemade Pav Bhaji masala. Now, you'll see on this video how to spell Pav Bhaji. We say Pav, but it's spelled with a V, P-A-V, and Pav means bread. Yeah, so we're going to be using this bread in a minute. Bhaji means vegetable, this part here that we're cooking right now. And masala, as we've talked about many times, means spice. So these beautiful, lovely things. So you can Google how to make homemade Pav Bhaji masala and make your own Pav Bhaji masala mix. But I'm doing the cheap version today with my Pav Bhaji mix that I got from the grocery in Launceston. He should sponsor my videos, don't you think? Anyway, I'm going to put in a big heaped teaspoon of Pav Bhaji masala and allow that to be part of the process of cooking down. And then I'm going to taste this a little bit later and decide if I need more Pav Bhaji masala or not. Because you want to start small, you can always add more, but you can't take it out. Cooking away here now, so just stirring in the tomato paste and the masala, and I'm going to leave it about another 5 minutes, but always checking especially that those potatoes have gone soft before we do the next part of the process. And I've just popped the lid on just to make the cooking process happen a little faster, because as I said, I'm getting hungry, and just to stop any evaporation of the water. Looking really great here now, and now what we want to do is blend it down. So you can use a stick blender, you can use a potato masher, whatever it is you have on hand to blend this down. So this is what it looks like now after I've used my stick blender in there. And then, as I mentioned to you before, I left the peas out. So I'm going to throw the peas in now, and that's because I want the peas to be whole. But some people put their peas in beforehand and just cook them down as well. So it depends if you want your peas to be whole or you want to mush them up. While these peas are just cooking in the mixture, I'm going to start the bread part of the process. So I'm just using this little small fry pan. So just a hot tip, this is kind of spraying up all over the place now that it's got that it's blended down. So you might want to use your lid on your pan. So I've cut my bread so it makes 2 nice little sort of half bun shapes. And I'm going to put some butter on either side of my bread, and then I'm going to just lightly fry it off in the pan. So here's the butter on both sides of the bread, and
Now just popping that into the pan and getting it all nice and crispy on both sides.
As I said before, we want to taste test the bhaji mix, the part of this that's bhaji, meaning vegetable, so the part of this, the vegetable part, to make sure that it has the right element of spice for us. So here goes. Just keeping that lid on so it doesn't splash everywhere. Oh yeah, for me it's perfect. However, you might like to add more chili powder, more Pav Bhaji masala, or even some salt, but not me today.
Just making the bread nice and warm and soft and melting that butter into the bread. These peas are also nice and soft in the mixture, so time to dish it up. So a couple of extra things over here for when we want to serve up our Pav Bhaji. Here's the beautiful bhaji mixture, the pav, beautiful and cooked. And we want to put some beautiful grated cheese onto our vegetable, and a squeeze of lime or lemon, which we have here. And well, in the India world, everybody will tell you that they put coriander, but I don't like coriander. Apparently it's genetic, so I'm going to pop a little bit of parsley. Here we go. Now it's all ready to enjoy. So this is how you make my version of Pav Bhaji.